All right, so today we are going to be doing things differently on this episode. I have Miracle back on here. I kind of wanted to freestyle and talk about some deep shit that I feel like a lot of people might experience in their lifetime after losing some money. The whole idea of mediums and like afterlife. And I really needed somebody to sit down and talk with me about this because he was kind of there for the whole experience I had with a medium that I still currently have with a medium. And me and him are always just trying to figure out, like, what's the real tea? Like, do they exist?
Like, is it legit? Like, that's really, like, the question.
Is it legit?
You know, it sounds like a really good, like, concept, you know, like a medium, and it's like, oh, yeah, like, this person is going to communicate to the people that you're missing.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds great.
Sounds great.
You know, it could be argued it sounds too good to be true.
Too good to be true. So you're telling me, and by the way, this is really no disrespect. Like, I'm really just trying to challenge this idea. You're telling me that you have a way for our dead loved ones to come to you and give you all the answers. What went wrong with me that I don't have that privilege?
Well, that's honestly like the first question that I would have. Like,
yeah.
When it comes to this whole medium thing, like, it's just like, if you're gonna come to anybody to talk to me, like, wouldn't it be easiest to come to me
Correct.
to talk to me? Like, I don't know.
Why do
like
we
a
need
dream?
a third party? Like,
I don't know. So that's really the whole spiel. But I guess let's kind of get into like
our story.
Yeah, what exactly is our experience?
This is a very wild story, so be ready. So before Francesco passed away, and I think I might have talked about this in season 1, me and him were sitting down talking, and he said to me that if something happens to him, which he's pretty sure that something is going to happen to him and he's going to pass away, he is going to make sure that he does whatever he can, and he's going to promise me, we literally promised each other, that he would find a way to speak to me, even if with him on the other side, right? Now, when he said that to me, I was, like, very in the moment. I'm like, yes, like, same here. But, like, I think deep down inside, I'm like, I'm not really sure that's possible.
It's kind of like how.
It's like, how? Like, I love the promise. Yeah. So, long story short, I get this DM, this Instagram DM. And this was, like, when was it?
I want to say, like, the end of the summer?
No, because this was going on through the summer.
Maybe it was, yeah. I don't think it was the beginning. It was somewhere, like,
maybe, like, June. Last June.
Yeah, end of June.
So, a year ago. I get this DM, and as you guys know, I really wasn't on social media, so I would just check in, like, here and there, and randomly, like, one of the first DMs on the top of my Instagram was this medium, and this is such a crazy story. She said that, hey, like, if you see this, and I know you're not on social media right now, Francesco keeps coming to me. He told me that you made a promise to him that, you know, when he gets to the other side, you guys are going to find a way to talk to each other again. And he wants me to make sure that I help him keep that promise.
Yeah. I think, honestly, what I do remember is it was something specifically like, oh, like Francesco said to comment this under a picture because if I DM'd it to you, you wouldn't see it. And I just remember you being like that. Like, it was just something that really made a lot of sense.
Also in the DM when she said, like, hey, like, he promised you a promise. He wants to keep it. She also said that he kept giving me a system. So supposedly the way that she explained it to me was he comes to her and mind you, she does this kind of for a living. Like, she's a medium. So she usually calls out for these people.
No, supposedly she's done it before,
and
but it's not what she does. You know?
All right.
It's a side gig.
So she tells me that if she does do it for people, you know, obviously she's calling out for them because she's, you know, getting paid to do this. And she has this gift. But for me, he's just knocking on her door pretty much. Like, the way she explained it to me, like, Francesco supposedly, like, came to her and just kept saying, like, look, you don't know me. We never met. My name is Francesco. I have a girlfriend. You know, he kind of supposedly explained to her the whole story of, like, what he promised, the conversations that he had.
Supposedly, like kicking you out of bed, supposedly. Kicking her out of bed.
Kicking her out of bed.
Like she couldn't sleep through the night. Like,
and she kept saying, like, hey, like, I don't know you. You know, I don't know who your girlfriend is. I don't feel comfortable just going to her and saying, you know, while she's grieving, like, hey, like, your boyfriend, she's going to think I'm nuts. So.
I mean,
I thought she was nuts.
It sounds kind of nuts.
It's
talking
crazy.
about the story right now. I mean,
no, you guys, it's insane. First of all, like, how do you know that we specifically made that promise? Now, here's my counter argument. Technically, that's a pretty common promise that two people would make. Potentially, let's just say, maybe, that's right?
Pretty common, yeah.
So I'm already ahead of the game. I'm thinking about all the pros and cons of this. But here's where it got weird. Back to DM, the original DM, when she said, here's the promise, he wants to keep it. Then she said, he keeps coming to me and he gave me a system. He made me comment on one of your old videos on a reel, because you don't get that many comments on reels, something like that. And like, he knows that if I DM you, you won't see it, but you need to see, I need a comment on your post. You'll see that, and I have to write, just make sure you check your DM and whatever.
Sounds complex, honestly.
It was just mad complex.
It was pretty complex, and, you know, I mean, listen, I think we've had a few conversations about this. Like, the thing that everybody always says, or at least my family says, is like a medium can't be real if, like, they ask you to pay. Like, that's what I've always, heard. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, whatever. I get the people that are like, oh, this is like my livelihood.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, it might just be fake. So
yeah.
But like, that was the thing about this as well. Like, she was like, hey, like, I'm just gonna do this for you guys
for free.
And I think that there's like a lot of good in it, because in one way, like, whether it's true or not, like, I'm sure it brings it's bringing all of us like a certain sense of comfort, and just like, just believing he's still here.
We gotta get into the juice. So I see this DM, and I'm kind of just like, it was just weird, because it was like the first thing that I saw, and like kind of logging into Instagram. So I'm just like, I'm obviously distraught. And if somebody's telling me that they know a promise that we made, I can't help myself, but I gotta answer. So I answer it, and I'm like, what do you want from me? Like, who are you? Please don't mess with my heart. Like, I'm already so distraught. Like, if you're gonna sit here and pretend that you're talking to Francesco, it was pretty
early on.
It was very early on. I mean, he passed in March. This was in June. So like, what, 2 months later? Yeah. April, May, June, 3 months.
I mean, if it's like, if this is like a joke or something, like, it's a
please,
it's not the right time.
Yeah.
Like,
so she proceeds to say, look, like, you don't need to believe me, but at the very least, I just need to tell you what he wants you to know, because he's torturing me if I don't. Like, he keeps saying, please DM her, DM her, DM her. She's gonna see it. I promise you, DM her. Tell her I made this promise. Like, she's gonna know about the promise. She's gonna know it's me. Like, she's gonna believe you if you just say the promise. Like, so she starts writing out a whole bunch of stuff, and she's like, I'm gonna just keep this quick and short, because I don't even know if you're gonna read this or not, but this is what he wants you to know. And she starts by saying, like, he misses picking you up all hours of the night, like back in the day when you would go with your friends in those late night drives, and making you soup when you got home. And he wants his brother to know, like, keep selling Pokemon cards and keep doing your thing, and he's so proud of you and he loves you. And like, but things just started getting like real detailed.
It was like all stuff that was like very accurate, but again, that like, look, here's the thing. Here's where like the situation is different for you. Is like, most mediums is like, how are they gonna gather information? For you, it's like, oh, like your whole life is
on
like
social media.
Out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it was all stuff that was accurate, but it was all stuff that was like easy to find, like information that like is not like, it was, nothing was like impossible,
right?
Like, I think to this day still, like, we're waiting for the thing that's like impossible,
right?
Like,
right. Well, there's a couple little things. So how do we even go from this conversation? So this DM, I obviously, like, I'm reading it and I'm kind of like getting goosebumps, because I'm like, again, the promise thing got me. So I start bringing it to the boys. I bring it to Fabrizio, the brother, and I'm like, I sit down with all of them. I'm like, we need to talk. We need to talk about what DMs I'm getting here. Like, what do you guys think? And I start reading them all the messages, and like, shit was just like, everybody at first was like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
I'm
trying to remember the first time that you spoke to her, and the time you brought it to us, and like, what were like do you remember like what were some of the first things that she said that was like?
So not only do I go to the boys, but I also go to Francesco's parents. I'm like, yo, you guys sit down. I got some tea. Like, I don't know what this is about. So his mom's like, let's call her and like, let's see if she's ballsy enough to do this, like, face to face.
I don't think anybody really bought it until it was like, all right, let's see what this person looks like.
Correct. Because I said to her, I'm like, send me a picture of you. I don't
Yeah.
believe you're a real person. Like, maybe this is one of my friends just, like, thinking that this is going to make me feel better, but it's not. Remember, I was, like, bugging out. She sends me a picture of her, and I'm like, okay, like, she looks, you know, like a normal person, you know? So I'm like, okay. So I get, the next morning, I set up a call with her. Mind you, she's not paying. She's not charging nothing. So that's already kind of like a green flag, I guess. So I sit down with his mom and his aunt, and his mom and aunt do this 3-person call. So she starts just like, first of all, I didn't even tell her that I was with his mom or aunt. She knew. She knew exactly who I was in the room with. She's like, oh, you're with his mother right now. He wants her to know this. Like, obviously, I don't remember, like, all the specifics.
Oh, yeah, like, whoever we were with. I remember.
She knew exactly, like, how would you know who I'm sitting next to?
It wasn't by, like, name, which it would.
Letters.
If it was
initial.
by name, that would have been pretty crazy. But it was by initial, which is still
like, you're with his mother,
insane.
R, you know, Rosa.
And with M, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't know. I'm trying to remember what was the one of the things that.
It was me and you insulting because I didn't call her again in front of you guys because I came back to you. I rewarded because his mom after that phone call, the medium was like, listen, like, you're with his aunt right now. You're with his mom. For his aunt, he wants you to know that he misses. He's always gonna miss you giving him like that fire haircut because she's a hair stylist, and like he misses sitting in the chair and like holding your little white dog and like.
Yes, the little
white dog, and your all white kitchen, and like,
and it was starting to be like, hold on a second,
shit was getting specific.
How does she know this stuff? Yeah, you know, listen again, like even when it was, I remember when we were sitting there, and it's like we were like, oh, but you know, we're like 2 of your close friends, but like not really, like at the time, and like, there was a lot of other friends that Francesco has. Obviously, it could have been his brother. It could have been a lot of people that were
sitting next to me.
Yeah, and she like specifically knew. So that, you know, a lot of stuff was happening.
Oh, she also knew that I have like a whole new group of friends that like Francesco loved for me, and she was laying it out for me. He's like, you better not go back to so-and-so. Supposedly, like, through the medium. Like, he's telling me right now, don't go back to this person because they did this to you in the past, and please don't forget it. Always stay true to yourself. Keep the course. Keep everything I taught you. How the hell?
And he was pretty cutthroat like that. Like, listen,
I don't like this person.
Cut it.
Cut it out.
So, like, it was like... It sounded like it was something he could say, too, you know? So, there's been a lot of different, like, weird situations and encounters and, you know... whatever it may be, and it's just like brings up the question like, can it even be real, you know, like, and then B, you know, like, if it is real, there has to be some people who are doing it for fake, right? Like, I mean,
absolutely, and I think that's what makes the real ones struggle, I guess, to be, you know, believed.
But again, is
this possible?
real ones? Is there real ones?
I don't know.
So it's like. Because if you really break it down, right? Like, you think about it, you kind of think about, like, somebody, like, dies, and you, like, you know, your soul leaves your body, you leave this earth, like, you know, whatever your belief is on, like, afterlife or stuff like that. Like, me personally, I just don't think that, I think you just here or there. You know, like, if you're there, like, I'll talk to you when I get there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't...
Well, here's the problem. There's so many things that like she said to me, like, for example, there's this bear in Francesco's room that has a letter B. The bear holds the letter B. He wants you to take it, and he wants you to keep it with you. Like, he wants you to have it. So, like, you know, I'm like, oh my god, like, how does she know that he has this letter B bear? I knew exactly what bear she was talking about. So I start scrolling through my TikToks, and in one of the TikToks, you see the bear very clear in his room. And
there was quite a few situations like this. It's
Come on, me and Francesco filmed everywhere.
So that's the thing that really makes it the hardest, I think, to understand for you, because I think most people, if there's not money involved, there's like no incentive to do it for fake.
That's the thing. Like, why would you're not getting paid? Why would you do it? Is there someone out there that's so sick that would, for fun, like, play with my heart? Play with his family's heart? Because everybody's, like, talking to her on board. I remember there was this one day, we did a family call. Like, all Francesco's uncles, aunts, cousins, friends, parents.
Yeah, how could you, like, do that in front of all these people,
She did this in front of, like, a party of 15 people. And, like, you would really be able, like,
Like that
There's
takes
sick
some
people out
that takes
there,
some
though.
that takes
I
some
mean,
guts.
that's
That
the
takes some
truth.
guts. Look, at the end of the day, like I always just think, and I tell you, we'll never really know because we like really want to believe it. You know, as crazy as it sounds, as much as somebody could hear this conversation, somebody could be watching this and be like, "You guys are like mentally insane."
Oh,
you know?
100%.
Like,
I don't
as
blame
much
anyone
as,
for thinking that.
but as much as that's the case,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, when you really sit there and you put everything into perspective and you break it down, you're spending time talking to this person and you start to question this person's motives, and like it goes on for what, like a year now, you know, in and out, talking to them here and there, you know, it definitely starts to be like this could be possible, you know, but
for sure.
I think that the big problem is, which is the point that you got to, is where like this is great, and I even said at first, I said like this is a great thing, it brings everybody comfort, but like when you're like, well basically you started off that you were really kind of, and we all were kind of trying to figure out and pick out the little things like, this is wrong, is this wrong, is that wrong, is this wrong, you know,
like with what she was saying.
Yeah, what she was saying, stuff that didn't add up, or stuff that just was like maybe too repetitive. Because a lot of this stuff was like repetitive. Like how many times do we hear, oh, like, you know, like we just keep seeing you and him at the top. It's like,
he's so proud of you.
Honestly, that sounds great and beautiful, but like I could, you know, anybody could
tell
say
me that right now.
You know, so it's
Francesco's
like
proud of you.
It's just to say it's not, you know, that's the thing. Francesco's proud of you. A million times Francesco's proud of you. Well, you know, I it sounds great to hear, but like at a point, like give me something that it's like I'm gonna confirm this. And well, the point that you got to was that it's like
it was like
you needed to call, kind of like either needed to call her or text her every day, needed to try and figure out such this back and forth of like, is it true, is it not true, and it's like,
and not even that,
you did start to rely on it.
Well, I was gonna say, and then it became to a point where I owned believing it, and then that was becoming unhealthy because that was what was helping me, quote unquote, heal, thinking that I have this vessel to speak to him.
But it's not even really healing at that point. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like you're just like,
you might be living off of something that's not real.
Yeah, you might be, and even if it is real, like at the end of the day, like the thing that sucks is like, it's never gonna be. He's like, even if we can talk to him through a person, like we can never really be with him in the same room. We can never talk to him again. Like it's like the life that you have to move forward and have, it's not really like supporting that. Yeah, you know, it's not really like pushing you in that direction.
Yeah, because now you're like, oh well, I can talk to him now while he's gone, so I'll just keep this forever, and it's like, that's not healthy. Like asking advice, like, oh, can you ask Francesco, like, does he think that I should do this today or that today? Like,
should I eat chicken or steak today?
Like
come on, like you're having your whole
obviously
life.
Obviously the questions were deeper than that.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. You're having your whole life, like you're making decisions based off of what somebody is telling you that somebody else is telling them.
Exactly.
And it's like,
but then there is this one thing that like really put me closer to believing her, and I know you're gonna remember this. So I told you guys a million times about the morning that I was getting ready, about to do my hair, go downstairs to pick out my outfit, and the straightener that I turned on was turned off. So when I went upstairs and I saw that it was turned off, I like low-key immediately knew it was him, because I feel like when you get a sign, like you just know, like you feel it. You just like feel that energy.
That's what I'm saying. You have moments where you kind of feel like, you know, all right, this is a little bit weird, and for some reason I feel like it's him. Like, you know, like.
But wait. So I text her right after that happens, when my straightener was turned off. And I said, hey, this is a really random text. I just was wondering if he can show you anything that he might have just done in my house today. She responds back and she goes, oh, like turning your straightener off so your house doesn't burn down? He's laughing right now. What the
I will add in,
what?
It did take a little bit of touch and go to get there.
True.
And this is where I continue to go back to it. And, you know, other people have said as well, like, you know, people that do this stuff are very smart. And, again, with all of the examples that you come up with, can you name me one that we're here, like, without a doubt, 100%, there's no way she could have known this?
Because, like, technically, like, I feel like mediums know what are some common things that can happen, right?
You also did say, like,
the bathroom.
In the bathroom, you know?
Yeah.
And like I said, there's a lot of things that can happen in a bathroom, like crazy stuff, you know? But, like, I don't know. I just feel like that was...
It was her first guess. I did. True. I said that, can you tell me what happened in the bathroom? And her first thing was like, again, the straightener so you don't burn your house down. Like, she could have said, what, you left the sink running and it overflowed? Oh, what, your toilet? I don't know. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. Like, I didn't bring up I was getting ready or anything like that. But you're right. I mean, look, this is, again, common shit. They know better than us, I guess. I don't know. I'm so drained of trying to figure it out.
I haven't had many experiences with, like, mediums. I will say this one is probably the closest I would ever say to, like, it actually really being real.
Correct. Especially that she's not charging.
True, and like you said, you had that other phone call with the random medium that you paid.
She also...
How did that one go? Let's talk about that one for a second.
We did another call.
Different medium.
We should talk about why we did that other call, but we'll get to it because remember she messed up this medium. But so we did another call with another medium because me and his mom were like, let's try to switch it up and see if like new things, because after a while you're talking to somebody like every other day, it's getting like repetitive. Okay, he's so proud of us. You got anything else? Like,
true. It was always the same stuff.
Same stuff. So whatever. We call somebody else. We get a number. And we get on the phone with this lady. Oh my God. She thought that he lost his life to a drug overdose. She thought like...
And that's what I'm saying.
What
like, it's like these things of like, oh, young person died. It's weird, but like, I feel like these people have like categories and they're like, all right, car accident, overdose, like must be like, because his situation was such a particular one, it's not just one you can like bullshit. Like you gotta, so again, another thing about this medium, the original first medium that we
the one that does it for free,
let's call her B, right? Medium B. She hits you up on Instagram and you are kind of like a little bit like, you have a nice following on Instagram,
correct?
So there's a good chance that it's like somebody who's just like following you on Instagram and is like, I don't know, or like just somebody that's like, hey, I want to talk to this person. But again, like, that's crazy. That's like actually crazy. So I think that what we're really
that's crazy.
I think what we're really kind of concluding here is just that like, it's one of those things like, I tell you all the time, we're never gonna have an answer on this. We're never gonna have an answer.
Never gonna know.
And I even say like, maybe one day, like when we die one day, because we ultimately all will, and we get to heaven or hell or whatever is the thing, or if there is anything, like if I remember to ask, like I'll be like, hey, like like, is mediums like a real like were you talking through medium B, like is it real?
You've been dying to ask him that since.
No, yeah, like I want to.
Miracle's honestly, always like, I just want to call Francesco.
I just want to look him in the face. I just want to be like, bro, you couldn't just come in a dream. You know what I mean? Like I hallucination. Like this lady
that we never met before.
This random lady on Skype that's calling. It's like, I just know. He just wants me to talk to you. Like, why? If it is true, I want to know why. It's just like, make it make sense. You could have made it a little bit more simple. You know what I mean? Had to make it go complicated. Had to make me question it.
We can't call him. We can't ask him. Hey, are you talking to this lady, medium B? We're never gonna know. So what do we do about this? What does anybody do about a medium that they're torn about? Do we just not go to mediums? Like, how do we?
Really, that is the question. What do you do if you're in a situation, which unfortunately all of us will at some time be in, where you lose somebody, you want to talk to them, and if you do, because I guess not everybody's gonna have the crazy social media following that you're gonna have and get these DMs. So for the random person, like, should you approach a medium? Like, should you talk to these people? I just think that at the end of the day, whatever brings you comfort, if it makes you a little bit happy in the moment, as long as you don't become reliant on it, again, like I said before, if you're not reliant, if it's like, I need to talk to this person every day to be sane, that's not okay.
But if it's bringing us comfort and it's not even real, is that the best way to, like... Maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe not. Again, like I said in the beginning, I thought, oh, this is cute. Like, you get comfort out of it. Like, if it's real or not, like, it's not really a being concerned. And it's like, oh, like, this can be a problem. Yeah. This can be a problem. if you really are just too wrapped up into it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, look, the thing that really made us realize that was that one time, like out of all the times that there were situations, and we used to check all the time with Medium B. We used to check, oh, like, did I post this on Instagram? Oh, yeah, did I put this in a story?
Yeah.
I think the one time that we were at the 18th Avenue feast, and it's like, I see he's showing me flashing lights, and that you're at something, and
Everybody posted on their Instagram.
yeah, like, you know, we were with people that posted the flashing lights that you see at the feast.
Yeah. She was so... It was weird because, like, the things that, like, she would say that, like, he's saying, it's, like, ironically on, like, one of my friends' Instagram stories because, again, I wasn't on social media for all of this, right? So I would have to ask my friends, like, hey, what did you guys post on Instagram today? So I can, like, compare if this information's matching this, and it kind of did.
If it makes sense, and yeah. Oh, but, you know, I have this, you know, on my Instagram.
And then also,
you know?
she brought up something about, like, how my mom... And this is true. My mom in the basement, in the refrigerator, has Francesco's water bottle to this day. She won't throw it out. And he used to write his name on his water bottles because it was like a specific kind of water that he would drink, and he just loved it, whatever. So she kept it because it has his handwriting on it and stuff. And the medium was like, oh, like, tell your mom that he loves that she kept the water bottle.
That's another one that's pretty crazy.
What the
hell?
Know?
That's what I'm saying. If you bring this to the average person, you're
cat?
like, oh, the cat. But that's a different type of topic. But just, you know, it's just to say all these sorts of things that happen that have, like, no explanation. It's like if I talk to you and I'm like, yeah, somebody's coming up to me and they're telling me this, and that. I don't know how they could know it. It's like, you know, like, I think, like, on this topic, there's a lot of people who, they either think you're crazy, how could you believe that? Somebody's dead, end of story.
Correct.
Or they're like, well, you know, I had, and it's always people who had an experience. You know, I spoke to this person about my mother, grandmother, and, you know, that makes you also think, are these people believing it because they want to believe it as well? Like, does it seem real because you want to believe it so bad?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There was one day in particular that I remember that it was my birthday.
Okay.
And we were all together at the house, at Francesco's house. And the medium basically texted. Well, basically, one of my friends posted and said something.
Another Francesco
posted, happy birthday, Fra. Which in Italian, Fra means, like, bro. Like, you know, so it's like, happy birthday, bro.
Brother.
And so I reposted it on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And then when I reposted it,
yep,
it kind of looked like I made the post. It looked like I was wishing him a happy birthday because
it said Fra.
It said Fra, and his name is Francesco. So it was just, it looked that way if you don't speak Italian. And, you know, there was a medium call, and she was like, yeah, like, he wants to say happy birthday to Francesco. It's like, oh, well, that's interesting because it's not Francesco's birthday. It's Miracle's birthday. And I just remember, like, I never really think that I ever came back from feeling that way.
But you see, this is the thing that me and Miracle talk about all the time. It's like, okay, let's go back to now the water bottle that's in my basement. How does she know this? But then it's obvious that she's lying in the mix. So it's like, if somebody's telling the truth, would they have to lie in between the truth?
Do you lie? Do you tell a lie to make your truth more of a truth? Like,
do you?
What? It just doesn't.
Or do you just stay telling the truth?
If you tell the truth, you tell the truth. You're not. If you're a liar, you're a liar. Like, that's. If it's a lie, it's all lies.
We're never gonna know about her.
It's a very confusing situation.
Medium B.
So the long story short, with all of this, I guess, my take is, honestly, you're never gonna really know. Do whatever makes you feel the most comfortable in the moment.
Yeah, don't rely.
But just don't, like, go into it. Don't be like, I need this. Don't be like, if I don't speak to the medium today, I don't feel good. And definitely I don't think look at it as like, this medium is this person that I lost. Like, they're not. They're not ever going to be, even if there is some weird way that they're able to communicate with them, you know, we're never going to know. And take everything with just a grain of salt. Like, there's a lot of crazy, weird people out there. People that are, like, charging money to do this sort of stuff. So
I'm just glad that she's always been free. We probably talked to her, like, once a week, which is so not healthy. But some people in our life here on this end, find comfort in it. So
Yeah, some people find comfort, some people
some
absolutely
people
hate
hate
it.
it. Yeah.
Everybody's torn on it. I wish we could find like a nice middle point where it's like, all right, like I see why you're doing that, and here's maybe how you could do it better instead of just being like, no, that's stupid. But
there's just so much things that have happened that like half of it is just like how would she notice, and the other half again is like this is on social media, or that mistake that she made about his birthday. So we're never gonna know. I've come a really long way with trying not to rely on it and just heal within, obviously, not from outside sources. So if you're out there and you want to talk to a medium, I say definitely do your research. I don't want to discourage you to try, because I know there has to be, I don't know, someone out there that really could do this.
Just don't pay.
Don't pay.
Don't pay for it. Like if you're gonna get lied to make yourself feel better, potentially lied to make yourself feel better, at least do it for free.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, my advice on this topic.
And I think that, like, honestly, like, why do mediums even charge? Like, you have this gift and you could do something that we can't, and it's like, I don't know, like, does God give these kind of gifts and then you make a run of business?
Look, the make money thing is just hilarious to me. It's like yes, like Francesco wants to talk to you, for the low price of $99.99. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
bro, and some of these mediums are like $500 for an hour, for a half hour.
Listen,
what are you doing?
They're making come ups. They follow the script. He loves you. He's proud of you. He's always around you. That'll be $99.
Medium A. Medium B is the one we've been talking to the whole time that was free, that we're still in touch with. But the other medium that was thinking that he did a drug overdose was like our therapist. We paid an hour of our time to get to hear what Francesco has to say, and half the time she was like, I can't imagine being you, and you just gotta hang in there. I didn't pay an hour for you to be my therapist. I already paid other therapists.
She had to make up the time. She had to make up that. How are we gonna get to an hour?
Literally, she was half a therapist and then half got everything wrong. What's going on? It's unfair. Like, no, like there's something to be said about these mediums, because again, like I said, there has to be, I'm sure, some out there that really can do this, but some of them are like really out here like breaking hearts.
Debatable.
I know. Breaking hearts. Like,
debatable.
I don't know. Hopefully this gets out to someone that maybe is pretending to be a medium when they're not, perhaps. Like, that's not right.
But look, if you're looking for a medium, if there are real ones, I just hope everybody that looks for one finds a real one. That's all I could say.
It. And
you know what I mean?
You do it for free.
Don't get schemed by an Instagram medium that swears that they're telling you all this information, that they know this stuff. Listen, once they start sending you the Cash App or the Zelle, just cut it. Cut it. That's it. On to the next one.
Agree.
That's it. You just need somebody more to talk to. Have that conversation. Don't rely on it, and just honestly, look, grief is a really crazy thing.
It is.
And here we are debating if medium is real or not.
It's like, that's the thing. Like, mediums know that, like, you're going through like the hardest time. You're the most vulnerable that you'll ever be in your life, and it's like, that's the best time to trick somebody,
Yeah, it's kind of messed up. So look, at the end of the day, mediums, either they're real and supernatural way to talk to a dead person, great, or they're fake and there's some messed up people in this world.